Good morning, Lockdown USA! It never ends. UK's Boris Johnson has tested virus in Spain. Yeah, they didn't fare very well this last 24 hours. From the Associated Press, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson said Friday he has tested positive for the corona. While the number of infections in the United States surged to the most in the world, and Spain announced a record number of deletions overnight. Johnson's office said the Prime Minister was tested after showing mild symptoms for the new thing going on and is self-isolating and continuing to lead Britain's response to the pandemic. Be in no doubt that I can continue thanks to the wizardry of modern technology. No, not wizardry, just damn technology. That's it. To communicate with all my top team to lead the national fight back against corona. Johnson said in a video message, adding that he had a temperature and persistent cough. Several weeks ago, Johnson had pledged he would go on shaking hands with everybody. But that's stupid. That's stupid. Mr. Johnson, you're dumb. You're a retard. You're an idiot. So here you are, now you're infected, now you've got to think, how many people did I shake hands with? Did I shake hands with anybody that was elderly or had pre-existing conditions? Well, now you've got to figure out everybody that you shook hands with because you could have passed it to them. You're stupid. Johnson, 55, was the first leader of a major nation known to have contracted COVID-19. German Chancellor Angela Merkel has been in isolation since her doctor tested positive for the virus, but her first two tests have been negative. Yeah, her first two tests. God, I love it. We go to get tests and we are triaged as far as tests. Well, do you really have it? Let me give your lungs a little look. Nope, I don't think you have it. You go home, and then some people end up having it after being sent home for the flu. But other people are able to get it tested twice. And these celebrities that we have here in the United States, they're getting tested and they're asymptomatic. But we can't get tested. That doesn't sound very fair. Earlier this week, Britain's Prince Charles said he had tested positive. Spain's health ministry reported another 7,800 infected overnight for a total of 64,059. Deletions climbed by almost 800, 769 to 4,858, the world's second highest total after Italy's 8,214. It's true that we have more deletions than we saw yesterday, but it is also true that the percentage increase today is similar to that of the past 3 days, and it appears there is a stabilization, said Fernando Simon, the head of Spain's Health Emergency Coordination Center. And in Washington, the House was set to pass the sprawling $2.2 trillion measure later Friday after an extraordinary 96-0 Senate votes. President Trump marveled at the unanimity and is eager, yeah, that's a lovely word, unanimity, and is eager to sign the package into law. It did run into complications as Republican lawmakers threatened to delay passage until most lawmakers returned to Washington, which could make a Friday vote impossible. They need to do it by tele. I mean, come on now. Use the technology that you guys are so much touting for. The situation in countries with more fragile healthcare systems grew more dire, with Russia, Indonesia, and South Africa all passing the 1,000 infection mark. India launched a massive program to help feed hungry day laborers after a lockdown of the country's 1.3 billion people put them out of work. Oh, the economy. What do we do? And I appreciate all sides. Okay, I'm going to put that caveat in there. I make fun of shit. I make fun of things that I think are dumb things. But I do appreciate all sides. All sides have a different thing. You're trying to balance lives versus economy. So what do you do? It's a tough decision, and I'm well aware of that, and I respect that it is a tough decision. Let's see here. The U.S. now has, more cases than China and Italy. This sentence doesn't make sense to me. The U.S. now has 85,996 confirmed cases, and Italy was set to pass China's 81,782. Yeah, the U.S. well surpassed China, okay, yeah. According to a count kept by Johns Hopkins University, well, according to a count kept by everybody, the three countries account nearly half of the world's nearly 600,000 infections and more than half of 24,863 reported deaths. Analysts, however, warned that all those infection figures could be low for reasons that varied in each nation. Testing issues, this and that, this and that, this and that. I know. And someone had made the caveat when I had made a video and I said, well, why does the United States have so many infections, more than China when China is more dense? And someone had said, well, it's a testing issue. On that, partially yes, but mostly no, because Germany is able to test way more people. Germany is testing 160,000 people a week, and the United States is only testing 30,000 people a week. Yet Germany has less infections. And infections per 100, they have less as well. So there's a little more going on there. There's something else going on there. What it is, I don't know. Is it the cavalier, rebellious American attitude that says, lockdown? Well, screw you. Is that what it is? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. Italian epidemiologists warn that the country's numbers are likely much higher than reported, perhaps 5 times as higher. Although 2 weeks into a nationwide lockdown, the daily increase seems to be slowing, at least in northern Italy. It's a horrible sensation not being able to breathe, said Fausto Russo, a 38-year-old fitness trainer who is one of the 10,000 Italians whose infection has been cured. Imagine putting your head underwater. I've been there, I have almost drowned, and it is not a fun feeling. And even afterwards, it's not a fun feeling. For most people, the coronavirus causes mild or moderate symptoms such as fever, cough, that clear up in 2 to 3 weeks. But for others, especially older adults and people with existing health problems, the virus can cause more severe illness, including pneumonia and obviously deletion. Johns Hopkins reported 127,531 people have recovered, about half in China. New York State epicenter of the U.S. outbreak reported 100 more deletions in one day, accounting for almost 30%, of the 1,300 deletions nationwide. Andrew Cuomo said the number of deletions will increase soon as critically ill people who are on ventilators succumb to their situation. And he's not wrong. The numbers are going to go up. And the numbers will continuously go up until the peak. And then they'll start to dwindle down. When that peak is, well, people are touting that they know when that peak is, but in reality, we don't know where it will peak. We just don't know until it peaks. This is a new thing. They're going to say that it follows the same things as the flu and that it will end in May, June, something like that. But we don't know. We just don't know. Now, the flu doesn't go away. It doesn't ever go away. It's just cases slow down. Humidity slows the spread and heat slows the spread. Summertime. The White House's Corona Response Coordinator, Deborah Birx, said that counties in the Midwest around Chicago and Detroit are seeing a rapid increase in cases. On Thursday, Louisiana reported the number of known coronavirus cases, damn it, I said the word, in the state leapt 28% overnight. And New Orleans has begun gearing up for a possible overflow at hospitals with plans to treat as many as 3,000 patients at the city's convention center if necessary. Man, you know we're in a bad spot when we're triaging surgeries and triaging people to get the tests and setting up convention centers as it's going to be a triage spot more than anything else, I'll bet you. Louisiana has surpassed 2,300 people known to be infected, with 86 residents dead from COVID, caused by the virus, according to the state health department. A 17-year-old from New Orleans was among the latest of the deletions. Damn. The first in the state of someone under 18. And Governor John Bel Edwards said it shows everyone is at risk. And everyone is at risk. And young people, maybe it doesn't affect you, and maybe you just barely get a sniffle or something like that, but you cannot guarantee. You cannot possibly guarantee. It would be impossible for you to guarantee that every single individual that you could come in contact with would fare the same. Washington, D.C. confirms 36 new cases, raising its total to 267. The district is under a state of emergency. Obviously it is. skip down a little bit. Russian authorities ramped up their testing for this week after widespread criticism of insufficient screening. Now, Russia's numbers. Yeah, Russia has not really been testing, so we don't even know where Russia's numbers are, but they're going to be a little higher than what they are right now, I believe, because Russia has not been testing generally. They have tested their oligarchy, and they're working their way down. The stay-home order for India's 1.3 billion people threw out work from the backbone of the nation's economy, and they are absolutely suffering. There are some images of police chasing people down the street that are trying to work. Rickshaw, those little carriages that they carry. Rickshaw drivers are massively hit. In China, where the virus was first believed to have started, the National Health Commission on Friday reported 55 new cases. 54 of them imported infections, and I would call bullshit on that. Once again, there were no new cases reported in Wuhan, the provincial capital where the coronavirus emerged in December. China is barring most foreigners from entering. Yeah, I don't believe that. I believe that about as far as I can throw freaking anybody. In a phone call Friday, Chinese leader Xi Jinping told Trump that China understands the United States' current predicament over the COVID-19 and stands ready to provide support within its capacity. Yeah, why don't you send us more Chinese drones? That way you can actually, send more information. I mean, why not? California's doing it. They're using Chinese-made drones to enforce the quarantine. So why wouldn't we just buy more Chinese drones? Yes, let's lay ourselves even more bare at China's feet. Let us sit there and prostrate ourselves before China, our supreme new overlords. The makers of everything that we need. The suppliers of our life. China. The pandemic appears to have peaked in China, even while the government remains on guard against imported cases. Beijing is sending medical teams and equipment abroad, especially to Europe, but it has strongly protested U.S. Secretary of State... Good morning! But it has strongly protested U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo's repeated reference to the outbreak as the Wuhan flu, saying that promotes bias against China and Chinese Americans. Oh, you gentle little fucking snowflakes, get off it! Get off it! If it started here in America and they called it, let's see, Wuhan flu, I like that. Kung flu, that rhymes. What would you call it in America? The America Scarica? I don't know. Whatever they called it. I'd be like, yeah, okay, it started here. I wouldn't take offense to it. Fucking snowflakes. Shares skidded early Friday in Europe after a mixed day in Asia, where Tokyo's Nikkei 225 jumped, while Australia's benchmark sank 5% on their stock market. U.S. futures were also lower after major Wall Street indexes jumped more than 6%, which is interesting because the futures last week were actually going up as they were talking, even though the deal was getting wiped out. So I would have thought that the futures would have gone up once they actually did come up with a deal. But perhaps it's because the vote hasn't happened and there's still uncertainty. The vote will happen today, and we'll find out. Bringing the S&P 500 up 17% since Monday, ahead of the expected approval of the American coronavirus relief package. So lots going on. I love you guys. You guys stay informed and let me know what you think. And if you guys have a story idea, by the way, go ahead and drop me a line. Contact information is in the description below, or you can also leave a comment. I love you guys. You guys stay informed. You guys stay safe. And I'll see you on the next one.